It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, I guess, for DC Comics fans, because the Mariko Tamaki, Hal Jordan Green Lantern series is not going to happen. And she's been replaced with an actual good comic book writer. So, hey, DC Comics must have been listening to somebody when they got the feedback regarding Mariko Tamaki on yet another superhero comic book series. People don't want it, and they decided to skip out on that one. And also, at the end of the year I was talking about, it was plain as day who was going to be the new writer for the Titans team moving forward. The Titans are going to be replacing the Justice League, at least for a little while. DC Comics also released this image regarding Dawn of DCU and some of the timeline. We can see there's going to be as yet unannounced Hawkman series in there. But if you throw a little filter on it, like these guys did, you can also see after Night Terrors, which I imagine is a Batman-centric event, says Return of the Justice League. So the Justice League will be returning by the end of the year. But before then, supposedly the Titans are taking over, and we get a bad creator on it. It feels like deja vu. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes, but let's talk about the very, very good news right up front. The visionary team of Jeremy Adams and Zermatico present a tale of redemption, lost and finding out that maybe you can go home again in Green Lantern. Spinning out of the events of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Guardians of Oa, at the heart of the Green Lantern Corps, have quarantined Sector 2814, home of planet Earth, and its champion along with it. A heartbreaking defeat has sent Hal reeling, returning home to rediscover his roots and find the man responsible for ruining his life, Sinestro. At least if you're willing to hotwire a power ring to do it. Green Lantern #1 is available at local comic shops on May 9th. It also features part 1 of the John Stewart Green Lantern story from writer Philip Kennedy Johnson. A war journal epic begins anew. So originally we were getting the Hal Jordan series from Mariko Tamaki, never made sense, and a John Stewart series from Philip Kennedy Johnson. It sounded like whatever they had done with Philip Kennedy Johnson was just going to be a backup in this series from Jeremy Adams. But Philip Kennedy Johnson has said on social media, no, the series will come out later on in the year. Apparently, we're just getting a little teaser in this Jeremy Adams, Hal Jordan Green Lantern series called Green Lantern. This is very exciting news. Jeremy Adams is the best new writer DC has discovered over the past 24 months. He's absolutely fantastic. If you have not been reading his Flash series, I'm sorry. You're missing out on a wonderful comic book series. It was in a lot of lists as top 10 comic books of all of 2022. It appears that's likely not to continue. I believe, this is what I've been told, Tom Taylor will be taking over the Flash series, so they're going to give Green Lantern to Jeremy Adams. Me personally, I like Green Lantern more than Flash, so this is great news for me. Zermatico is a very good artist and should feel right at home on a Green Lantern series. This is exceptionally exciting news for Green Lantern fans. I don't know what the hell Jeff Thorne was thinking. Well, I know what he was thinking. He wanted to go big or go home, and he swung for the fences, and he struck out big time. His Green Lantern run was absolutely awful. We just got that one shot of John Stewart, the Emerald Knight. We just need a memory hole, Emerald Knight, and every single thing Jeff Thorne did with Green Lantern, and it sounds like we're getting a fresh start for Dawn of DCU under Jeremy Adams. Hal Jordan fighting Sinestro, not the most original idea we've ever seen in the world. But Sinestro is a great villain, and I can't wait to see what Jeremy Adams does with the character fighting Hal Jordan Green Lantern. This should be very exciting stuff, and if you're a Green Lantern fan, this is probably the best news we've had in 3 or 4 years. I know some people did like the Grant Morrison Green Lantern run. I thought it was atrocious. We haven't had anything good starring Green Lantern since Robert Venditti left Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps. So that is amazing news. Let's talk about the not so amazing news. Tom Taylor and artist Nicola Scott are bringing the Titans to the forefront of the DC universe starting this May. The Dark Crisis is over and the Justice League is no more. Now a new team has to rise and protect the Earth, Titans. The time has come for the Teen Titans to grow up. Each member joined as a much younger hero, certain that one day they'd be invited to join the Justice League. Now they're not just joining the league, they're replacing it. Are the no longer teen heroes ready for the big leagues? Danger lurks around every corner as superheroes and villains alike challenge the new team before they've even begun. Will the DCU ever be the same again? Find out in this landmark first issue available on May 16th. Getting the Titans over as a replacement for the Justice League is actually really hard work. People love the Justice League and people love the Titans, but when we're talking about big threats to the galaxy and all that stuff, people expect the Justice League to take over. And all those characters are still alive now. They were supposed to be dead, but they're alive now. So that is a tall order, getting them over as the premier team in the DC Comics universe. It's almost like trying to replace Superman with his younger son. Unfortunately, DC Comics have been trying this for about 2 years now, and it failed spectacularly. In fact, after about 12 issues, DC Comics announced Tom Taylor's Superman John Kent run was actually being canceled early. Why would you hire Tom Taylor to essentially try and do the exact same thing? How many more times can DC Comics let this guy take a premier character or a premier team and absolutely dump all over them, kill sales, and then it takes another 24 to 36 months to rehab all the damage Tom Taylor has done to the characters? And they're promising the original Titans are going to return. They're all stepping up. If you believe that in 1 year, this Titan series is going to feature Cyborg and Starfire and Nightwing and Wally West and all that, I've got some oceanfront property in Missouri to sell you. You are an absolute idiot if you believe that. This is clearly going to be JLQ replacing the Justice League, but with Dick Grayson Nightwing at the forefront. Why? Because everyone likes Dick Grayson Nightwing, and they think if you attach Dick Grayson to John Kent, Yara Flor, and all these other failed characters that DC Comics have bought so badly over the past 24 months, that DC Comics readers will just start accepting these characters. Well, as long as Tom Taylor is attached to them, it's never going to work. I don't know why they keep bringing this guy in. The Justice League, we know they're going to return. It's on the little promo. We can see it if you throw a little filter on it. I think DC Comics learned their lesson from the John Kent Superman fiasco and said, you know what? Let's hedge our bets a little bit. We know Tom Taylor's going to fuck this up, but he's our exclusive writer, and we would like to present him as a superstar, so we got to give him the opportunity, and then he will drop the ball big time. The Justice League will return, and then we'll all be wondering why we can't get another Titan series for 4 or 5 years after the damage that Tom Taylor does. His Nightwing series is absolutely bearable, but it does nothing. Nightwing doesn't really beat any villains in there. He didn't even beat Blockbuster. He certainly hasn't stopped Heartless from killing anybody over the past 24, 36 months or whatever it is. It's such a slow burn, and everybody in there is just telling Dick Grayson Nightwing how great he is. Well, that's not going to happen in this Titan series. It's going to be Dick Grayson Nightwing telling all the other characters how great they are, because that's what Tom Taylor does. And we'll see the Titans fight the wage gap, or maybe come out in support of the Me Too movement, or some really interesting stuff like that. And then the series will disappear because Tom Taylor absolutely sucks. I'm sorry if you're a Titans fan. This is, well, it's not the worst news. Megan Fitzmartin could be writing it. She's a worse writer than Tom Taylor. But if you're excited about a Titan series, this ain't it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We have one more piece of information, another series that was announced that I just find absolutely perplexing. I do not get this one at all. Writer Morgan Hampton from the Milestone Initiative Talent Development Program joins forces with veteran artist Tom Rainey to give Cyborg the Dawn of DC epic he deserves starting on May 16th. When a family emergency brings Cyborg back to Detroit, Victor Stone surprisingly finds himself enjoying returning to the simpler life, where everybody sees him for who he really is and always was, rather than a larger-than-life superhero. It's been a while since Vic's been able to lower his guard and seek a purpose outside of being Cyborg 24/7, but a lot has changed in Detroit while Victor's been away. An aggressive new company is turning the Motor City into an overclocked engine for revolutionary artificial intelligence. And no one knows better than Cyborg that technological transformation always comes at a steep human price. Fans can also get a preview of what's to come for Cyborg and Hampton's story in DC Power, a celebration available on January 31st. If Jeff Johns cannot make a Cyborg solo series work, no one's going to be able to do it. Why do they keep trying to make Cyborg a solo character? It never, ever works for the character. Morgan Hampton, obviously, out of the Milestone Initiative, probably has some potential as a writer. I don't know who they are. I'm told like their Twitter handle is Mollennial, which is, you know, kind of lame or whatever, but hey, maybe he's a great writer, but he's stuck with a bad character. Well, Cyborg's not a bad character, but he's not a solo character. He really only works in team books. Maybe if they made this a backup in the Titan series, which is kind of what backup stories are supposed to be, new writers cutting their teeth, making a name for themselves on more obscure characters, maybe this would make sense. But as a solo series, they haven't called it a miniseries yet, but I will be shocked if this makes it past 8 issues. And Tom Rainey on a technologically advanced character like Cyborg makes less than no sense whatsoever. His art was atrocious for Green Lantern, and technically Cyborg should be a little bit slicker than Green Lantern even, because he is a technological-based character. If you don't get a nice, slick artist, it's never going to work. It's never going to look good, and you're really setting Morgan Hampton up for failure here. And, well, let's be honest. They were setting themselves up for failure when they decided to do another Cyborg ongoing solo series. Has anyone ever asked for this? I know that there are Cyborg fans out there. Like I said, I like the character pretty well, but I like him on the Titans. I like him on the Teen Titans. But as a solo series, you're just doomed for failure there, just like the Tom Taylor Titan series, but for a whole nother reason. So there you have it. DC Comics actually listened to people. They canceled the Mariko Tamaki Hal Jordan series. They brought in a hot writer in Jeremy Adams to take over the series, and I'm very excited about that. But he does have some work to do. Jeff Thorne messed up Green Lantern very, very badly, so he's going to have to overcome that one. We've also got the John Stewart series from Philip Kennedy Johnson. I don't know why they're doing that as a solo series either. Another character that doesn't work as a solo character. He works in team books as part of the Green Lantern Corps. There's only so many lanterns you can do solo books on, but whatever. Have fun failing on that one too. But obviously the bad news is, I said it was going to happen. I said Tom Taylor is clearly going to be writing this Titan series, and Tom Taylor is writing the Titan series. How many times does this guy get a fail at Marvel and DC Comics before they realize, let's just put him on Elseworlds books? It's the only place he ever really makes sense. If you need more information about Tom Taylor and how he screwed up Superman, and the premise for that and getting him over is eerily similar to Titans, there are a lot of things working against DC Comics here, none more so than Tom Taylor himself, the DC exclusive superstar writer. He ruined John Kenne's Superman in less than 9 months. The writing was on the wall. Definitely check out this video. If you don't see it here, there's also a link in the video description.